Hello, I'm Karen, and in today's video I'm actually going to be sharing with you how to make letters of the alphabet. Okay. um, yeah, so for this one you're actually going to need a 4mm crochet hook, some stuffing. I'm just using, this is double knit yarn. This is Wilco's. This is actually then one of their newest colours. I do like it. It's sort of this lovely aqua blue. And you'll need a pair of scissors, and you will need a needle for sewing in your ends. Okay, so to be able to make the letters, what I'm going to do is just explain simplistically. They're actually made out of sections. So what you're going to need to do is make, I'm just going to put that up there a little bit. You're going to need to make these basic shapes. So you're going to need to make the smallest one, the next size up, and this big one here. And for you to be able to make the capital O, you will actually need this one, which is the longest one out of all of them, which is actually this is 48 rounds. Okay, so that's all you're actually really going to need. So this one's 8, 16, 24 and 48. So what I'm going to do is just get, so what, because I've just, to make things easier, I'm just going to put that one over there a minute. I'm just going to get 2 of these. So these are both 16 rounds long, and these are the 8. So to be able to make the K, we're just going to need to have one there, and then these 2 are going to make them, and we're going to make them and sew them together so they make like a little V shape. Got one, she says, in a different colour, but I've got one already made. So just make little V shapes by sewing 2 of these together. So let's move everything out of the way. So I'm going to put the measurements in the description box so that you know exactly what measurements you need for each letter. You can make, if you want to do it slightly different, I'm showing you with the letter P. So this one is made with, this piece is a 16, and this piece to go around it is also 16. This one I just did it all in one go to go all the way around, so that one was actually 32 if you wanted to, but I prefer this one because it's just more structured. Okay, right, so that's all of those little bits out of the way. So what I'm going to do is, it's 4mm crochet hook. It's really easy pattern. And oh, by the way, one other thing, you're going to get lots of tail ends from doing these, because you've got lots of things. So I thought I'd show you how to make a tassel as well, because you've got to do something with your leftover bits, haven't you? So let's carry on, and I'm going to begin with a magic circle. So what I've done is I've got my tension, I've wrapped it all the way around my fingers. I'm going to go underneath this first one, catch hold of this one that's my main one, twist it and do 1 chain. And you've got a big loop, so pull the loop so it's small, so it's easier to hold and easy to work with. And then we're going to do 6 single crochet if you're in the US, or 6 double crochet if you're in the UK. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Then you're going to pull the tail end tight and slip stitch underneath the first single crochet or the first double crochet, depending where you're from. So you're going to slip stitch to join, and now we're just going to work in a continuous round. Okay, so it's going to be straight into that stitch there and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And now, so we're going to keep on going all the way round and round. We're not going to slip stitch after this. So if you go into the next one along, which is technically doing 7, just makes this a little bit easier. So because we've got a hole in the middle, so what we want to do is we want to pull the tail end so it's gone tight, and then tip over this, give it a wiggle, put it over the end of your finger just so that you can make that go into the correct shape. And then all you're going to do is, so you can see where that's where I've finished, I'm going to work into the next stitch along, and you're just going to work, keep going around and around. You want to make sure that you don't actually catch this tail end, and you need the tail end to stay in the middle. You don't for all of them, but it's best to get used to that, because when you want to do the curved ones, I'm going to show you how you need to use that tail end. So all you're going to do is just keep doing this. So you're going to make yourself lots and lots of little pieces. So you're going to make pieces with pieces of 8, I was going to say. Oh, shiver me timbers. Yeah, so you're going to make lots of pieces that are just 8, lots of pieces that are 16, and say you're going to need to make a few that are 24. This is all you do, is literally make this as long as you actually want. Okay, it's super easy, and once you understand how the letters are made, it is very, very easy. So what I'm going to do to make life even easier and to just move along, I'm going to stop the crochet in there and move on to stuffing. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get, well, this is one of the ones that's 16, and I'm going to show you how I stuff it. So we get both of the tail ends, because you want to keep the tail ends, because the middle tail end is going to help you with the curve. You want to get tiny pieces of your stuffing and work that stuffing in. I'm using the end of my crochet hook for this one. On the larger one, you may find that you need to use something like a knitting needle to be able to poke the stuffing all the way down to the bottom. And you just doing tiny pieces helps you to kind of keep them that shape, rather than getting, you don't want it to end up lumpy, and so you want to try and keep the same diameter all the way around with your stuffing. And yes, it may be a little bit of time consuming in one sense, but it's well worth it as far as I'm concerned anyway. So just going to get this one all nicely stuffed. There. I think I can just get a little bit more in the end there. You don't want it so that it's bursting out of the seams though at the end there, otherwise when you try and sew it up you end up with like little tiny wispy bits, which just makes your work look a little bit messy, and you don't want that. Okay, so now I've actually stuffed that and I've got that, so it's nice, it's got a nice padded feeling to it. I'm going to get I'm just going to get one of these ones. This is actually slightly bigger because it's the yarn's actually fatter. So what I want to do is I want it to curve. I want it to be able to fit this one, because this was how would be how I would make my lowercase a. So what I want to do is I want to get this tail end. This is the middle one. I'm going to thread my needle. There. I'm just going to just pull that slightly so it curved it naturally. And I'm going to hold on to this bit. I'm just going to just make sure that this pushes round so that it's not, all the curves not at this point. And so you've got that curve, and so it'll stay there. Well, not completely, but it more or less. And I'm just going to just literally go underneath one of the stitches just to hold that piece in place, so that that piece is, now that's actually going to be able to hold its curve. And then I'm just going to just put that through there, out of the way. Oops, some of my stuffing's popped out. I'm going to cut that off and put that with my collection of tail ends over there. And I'm going to thread this here onto this one there, like that. I'm just going to tuck that back in because that's obviously come out. Put that in there. And then what you're going to do is you look at your stitches. So this is the very last stitch that I've done. and you're going to go into the next stitch along and then work back through that same. So we actually want to come underneath 2 strands and 2 strands of there and just sew that through. Then get to the next stitch along and the next stitch along, and there, just so that you've just done those 3 little stitches. This will make you so that you've got your a flat end. If you want to make it so that it's curved, you can, but I find that having the flat ended pieces helps with actually sewing pieces together. And there you go. That's how you've made your letter C, which would then fit next to one of those to be able to make the letter A. So that's all you're really going to need to do. That's really the basics. So if you, to make the circle itself, you do, I'm just going to show you on the bigger piece. When you actually took it all together, it's easier, I found, to get this rounded end and just to poke it slightly inside there and then just do some nice neat stitching around there to be able to make your circle. Okay, so I'm just going to push that through there just so that we've got that extra bit of support for that curve, and through to there. Cut that bit off so you can just see, sorry, there's so many things, there's so many puns you can do with letters, isn't there? So it's okay. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is quickly just show you, because you will have lots of tail ends left over, and it's one of those ones where, so what I do is you get one of your tail ends and you could just get your other ones, straighten them out, so there's, yes, they're going to be odd lengths, but all you need to do, this is a really simplistic version by the way, is just tie a knot in the middle. This is the bit that I would then use to be able to hang it up with, and then just shake it so that it's all nice and neat like that. And then what I do is actually do get, hang on a minute because that's joined onto that, let's get rid of that. I do get some more yarn from my actual ball of yarn, and I put a tail end so that it's going to be the same sort of length as this. And actually, I know this is weird, and then what I'll do is I wrap it around this very top piece, make it as, go around as many times as you like, try and make it neat. Mine isn't going to be neat because I'm on a video and things like that just never could turn out superbly neat. That's the other end of my tail end, so I'm just going to just tie that in a knot, and hopefully when I pull the knot tight it will actually keep it all nicely together, and then come back round there, just do an additional knot. You can actually make these, you can sew your ends in better so that it's neater, but this is just a quick simplistic version, because those, you can see that where I've tied that knot, it's actually sticking out at the top there. And then all you do is you find realistically which is your shortest tail end. I can see one here, that's my shortest tail end, which is, means I'm actually going to cut quite a bit off of there, but, and then you cut it all off to be able to make, I know we've still ended up with leftovers, but tassels always come in handy. So there you go, that's a simplistic tassel to be able to go with your leftovers with your letters. So there's just a quick little video, so thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing. Oh, before I finish, if you just do the very first round and sew in your tail ends, you make your tiny circle which is suitable for your eye, or if you wanted to do an exclamation mark, it's suitable to do it that way around. So there you go, very simplistic to be able to make your lettering. If you want to actually use these lettering pieces of letters, you can actually use all of these, and you can actually make the Yahoo symbols, which I've actually shared in one of my other videos. And I think it's lots of fun for you to just be able to be, it's educational when you think about it, to be able to sit there with letters and to build them, make your different words, and for this one, for example, everything's okay. But you can also have something like pop. So if you just wanted to add a little bit of oomph to your work with a little tassel, with a bit of lettering, I just thought that would be fun. So thank you for watching, thank you for liking, thank you for sharing, thank you for subscribing, and bye for now.